like animals. It's just like when we were slaves here in America. A slave was
You said when?
No, I'm saying it's like yeah, we still are. But I'm talking about when we had the physical shackles on.
I'm joking with you.
God. When we had the physical shackles on our hands and our necks, in their constitution and stuff, what will we consider as? 1/13 of one person. 1/13. No, it was 1/3.
1/3 of a human.
1/3 of a human being.
1/5 of a human. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it was 1/3.
A fraction of a person.
Yeah, we weren't even considered a whole man, a whole person.
Yeah, we were a commodity. Like we went through, even in cyber class, we talked about how we were just commodities. We were stocks. We were bonds.
Mm-hmm.
We were traded for cattle. We were traded for equipment. We weren't looked at as people. So why would I bury you? You think America, if they had if it wasn't for sanitation and disease, you think they would bury us?
Law.
They'd probably leave us there too.
God.
But they're like, wait a minute, it's going to affect us in a way where we can't just have dead bodies in the street. America don't care. They'd leave us there if they could. If it wasn't for the sanitary aspect, they'd let you just rot right there in the corner where they shot you. Like, this nigga don't deserve if you're not good enough to live and walk around and breathe the white man's air, why are you good enough to share the white man's dirt?
It's crazy too, because I seen it when I was in Venice. Like the homelessness in California, they to have clean up the areas that they're all at. They have people in hazmats to go and clean it up.
Damn.
Oh yeah, because of the hepatitis. You talking about? That's not just Venice. That's right over there on like Hollywood Boulevard too.
Come on.
Yeah, because what it is, they let people live there, like it's a housing project, but they gotta clean it like once a week. But there's so much hepatitis that's running through that little homeless community. You got people that pull up there on purpose to go live. Like, I'm gonna go live homeless out here in a tent. They call it like a tent city.
Yeah.
But there's hepatitis, there's disease. But if it wasn't for that, listen, there'd be bones rotting all through Sharpstown right now. All the niggas that be getting shot out here and drug dealing and getting beat up and stabbed, they be right out here just rotting. We ain't gonna haul them away for what? Waste the resources for what?
Oh man.
Check out his death for what?
Can you imagine the stench?
But that's the point. We know what it does.
That's why, my grandmother had pointed out, $4,000 would have covered a whole funeral, in the 80s. But nowadays, $4,000 ain't nothing.
Oh yeah, the casket is like $4,000 now.
God.
Just one box, pine box is $3-4 grand. That's your life insurance up, right?
Yeah. So, just imagine the stench of this city.
Yeah, imagine what it smelled like.
I mean, and it said that the sins reached up to the Most High. Look, when we burn the frankincense and myrrh, it says it's a sweet savor unto the Most High. Think about these dead bodies. The Most High is like, this is disgusting. Something's got to be done here.
The cry of Jerusalem has gone up.
The cry of Jerusalem, the cry of my people has gone up. Now I'm gonna read a little something else here, and this point is titled "The Writings on the Wall," which we're going into the reefs.
The reliefs.
The reliefs.
Right.
Yeah, the reliefs.
Right, going right back into the reliefs that we talked about earlier about how they depicted what they were doing to us.
So the reliefs, and like how you said, depicts the things they did to us. The way I see it, it's kind of like an ancient comic book. They just show all the things that's happening in picture forms. So I'm gonna read this. The reliefs, there are reliefs with people being impaled, decapitated, filleted, and tongues pulled out. Other reliefs show the Assyrians making people grind the bones of their dead ancestors, and even vultures plucking out the eyes of the dead.
Because they weren't burying anybody. They were just letting bodies sit. And that wasn't just Assyrians letting Assyrians sit. That was us. They said it did this to their captives. Y'all get this, right?
Come on.
Go ahead.
panel graphically shows their disrespect for human life. On it, a commander is presenting a bracelet to an Assyrian soldier who had decapitated the 5 or 6 heads at his feet. There are 2 scribes behind him recording the event. His bracelet, perhaps a medal of valor, is worn 5 or 6 lot or worth 5 or 6 lives.
So this was the value of life to this nation.
A bracelet.
Now, it ain't no different because a black man's life is worth less than a dog, right?
Kind.
I think Kazaki was saying it the other day. Shoot a police dog and see what happens.
Oh man.
Oh, that's.
You get life.
Killing a cop.
That's like killing a cop.
God.
But look what Mike did. Look at what Mike Vick did. He fought some pit bulls, right? Not advocating that dog fighting is okay, but I'm proving a point that even when he served his time that they gave him, how many years has it been?
Like
Probably
10.
18.
Probably 10 plus years, right? And they're still trying to boycott Michael Vick. The dude was trying to coach the Pro Bowl this year, and they was trying to boycott the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
It's like, damn, y'all put him under your judicial system. You judged him.
Served his time.
He served his 1 year. He
Got his
lost.
punishment.
He lost all his dough. He lost everything behind some dogs because a man's life is worth nothing to this country. There's a hierarchy. It's the white man. It's all the other nations. It's women, white women, black women. You got animals. You got gays, and then you got the black man. We're at the bottom of the list when it comes to, if you want to put a damn a totem pole, a hierarchy, bro, a black man is not respected. You get more respect as an animal than you do. They'll save the horse with the broken foot before they save a black man. They'll put a bullet in a black man so fast, it's like, oh no, we can't kill Fido. We can't put him down. Fido has got cancer. Fido ain't got no teeth. Fido can't walk, but he's the family pet, right?
God.
But a black man, oh yeah, we can shoot him like he's less than cattle. He's less than a dog. He's nothing. It's no different than how Assyria was just giving out bracelets for chopping off 5 heads. Up, 5 head, up, get you a bracelet. Gold bracelet for you, silver bracelet for you, this for you. Same thing they do to these police. Oh, you apprehended the subject, right? The suspect. Shoot a cat in his back, black man. What they give him? Medal of Honor, Medal of Valor. Whatever police rankings and medals they give them. They praise them for killing us, man.
It's like they'll kill any of them because they'll fit the description.
Yeah, because again, it's not worth, their life is not worth asking questions before we shoot. A black man's life ain't worth it. A Hispanic man's life ain't worth it to this nation. It's no different than when we were in Nineveh. You kill them, just leave them there. On to the next. It said there was great slaughter. Didn't it say that?
Great slaughter.
Yeah, it said there was great slaughter. Right? Watch. Right, here it is. And if, verse 18, Tobit 1 and 18. And if the king Sennacherib had slain any when he was come and fled from Judea, I buried him privately, for in his wrath he killed many, but the bodies were not found. It said these men came from Judea. They came from Judea, man. So he was killing the southern kingdom. You see that? Men fled from Judea, and then what? They were getting killed by this king. Right? So what's the next point? Did you read all that with the...
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Look, life, the Assyrians thought life was cheap. Our lives were cheap. We didn't mean much to them.
Nope.
Also, just like here in America, we were getting taxed. So the ones that didn't get killed and the ones that was living and mingled in with the heathen and doing the things that they did that were proud to be living in Nineveh.
American dream.
the American dream.
Ninevite dream.
Look, I'm gonna read this. The brutal policies of subjugation and export. Can you pronounce that for me?
Exorbitant.
Exorbitant.
Brutal policies, I'll read it for you. The brutal policies of subjugation and exorbitant demands for tribute and taxes made the Assyrians unpopular masters.
So they were taxing the HELL out of us.
Usury, man.
Usury and that word exorbitant.
Exorbitant, it just means it was just blown out of proportion.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, it was absorbent. It was big. It was huge. It was a huge taxes. So, like, how you paying what? 7 cents on the dollar? Oh, no, I got one for you. You pay tax on everything you buy. At the end of the year, you pay tax, right? It's the same thing. Like, we're gonna charge you at the end of the year, but you've been paying tax the whole year.
I got another one for you. For those of you in the workforce and have a 401k, try to touch that money right now.
Oh, they'll tax the hell out you.
Try to touch that, and that's your money.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tax you almost 50% of your money.
Really?
Yeah, they're not taxing a regular tax percentage.
They don't want you to take it.
Right. Because what they're using your money that you're putting away for yourself so that when you retire, you can kind of live on that a little bit. They're using that money to make more money for themselves. So if you pull it early, they can't make the same money. That's why they tax you for it.
You can't make that interest.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, no, they invested.
No, they can't have it to invest.
Right. What you got?
That's like, when I lived in Nebraska, a white man had told us that, like, your social security number is actually a bank account.
Oh yeah, we've seen that.
They don't teach
Stocks
us
and
how to
bonds.
touch it at all. Like, and if you try to touch it, like, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, that's the stocks and bonds. That's why your birth certificate, social card, it has all these numbers. They all tie back to. It's funny, we talk about the same thing on Saturday, but they all tie back to the stock market, the Federal Reserve. It ties back to America because you're a commodity until you're not. You're only valuable to this nation if you're working for them. That's it. You're only valued. And the thing is, there's so much of us. There's so many Israelites in this country. They can afford to knock a few of us off. They can afford the couple of hundred that they kill in the streets. They can afford the couple of hundred they jail, or 1,000 that they jail. They can afford it because there's so many of us, man. There's so many of us willing to want to cling to this country. Like, oh yeah, we can afford killing a few of y'all, jailing a few of y'all, turning a few of y'all into faggots, because faggots still work. People in jail, guess what? That's cheap or free labor, so they getting work done. So no matter what, they getting what they want out of us. It's up to us. Now, what we're going to go into is the fall, the downfall of Assyria, and what the Most High said about us, about Nineveh, and what the Most High had Nahum prophesy against this nation. Right? So he's going in about they overtaxed the people. What else? Despite the ferocity of their reprisals, vassal states continually revolted when given the opportunity.
So they bucked up. It's no different than today. The nation's complaining about taxes,
embargoes and things like that.
Yeah, embargoes and things like that. But we ain't really complaining. The blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, we ain't really complaining about it. We just dealing with it. It's like, oh, this is what we got to do. Latinos like, oh, well, yeah, I wanted to be in America. This is just what I got to deal with. Negroes is just like, well, shoot, I'm just trying to fly on the radar and not get in trouble for nothing. I'm go ahead and just deal with it. So the revolt was coming from their people on these things. Go ahead.
Right. It says, weaker Assyrian kings were unable to hold the empire together in the face of internal and external pressure. In 1612 BCE, the capital at Nineveh fell to the coalition of the Babylonians and the Medes.
Yeah, so they was overtaken by them. But the point on that is, on that section, I wanted to bring out how that city was weakened within itself. Because, for one, the taxation was affecting themselves, the people that lived there, because the kings was overtaxing them, and they were losing pieces of their commodity, which were Israelites, from all the dead bodies in the streets.
Go back to Nahum 3 and verse 5. Let's see what this downfall was looking like.
Nahum chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts,
Go ahead.
and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face.
So the skirt would be like what was like a dress. Everyone knows what skirt is. He says, I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna find out what's going on underneath there.
I'm gonna put you to shame.
I'm gonna put you to
I'm gonna have you
shame.
shamed. Pull your skirt up, right? Go ahead.
And I will show the nations thy nakedness.
Everybody gonna see what you got going on. I'm gonna show all the weakness. I'm gonna show all the filth. I'm gonna show all the lies, all the whoredom that you've been doing. I'm gonna let it all be known and put on display for everybody to see.
Right, and he let it start happening internally. The people started to revolt. They got some weak ass kings that couldn't hold it together. Then he let Babylon and the Medes come in and destroy Nineveh. Go ahead.
And the kingdoms thy shame.
Go ahead.
And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And it shall come to pass, that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste.
Whoa, hold up. It says what?
Nineveh is laid waste.
Now what does that sound like? What does that sound like?
Babylon the Great is fallen.
God, it sounds like Babylon the Great has fallen. They looked across the river and said, damn, is she still burning? Wow, it's still going? You see, what we're trying to show y'all is that there's no wicked kingdom that's going to last. Just like this wicked kingdom of Nineveh and the Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, and these other wicked kingdoms, guess who's next? America. Esau, man. Watch, go ahead.
Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her?
Yeah, who's going to cry for this nation? Who's going to bemoan her? Well, you want to be joined to this nation, you was going to get destroyed just like it. What did he say about being joined to America? So when they get thrust through, you're going to be thrust through. Right? Go ahead.
Whence shall I seek comforters for thee?
Right?
Art thou better than populace?
Art thou better than populace? Go ahead.
No.
Right. So what that's talking about, populace, when you look that up, that's talking about the capital city of ancient Egypt. It was called, did you write it down?
Populace was
Get it right now.
was a type of deity that they had there.
Well, it was a deity, but it was going into this city that they worshiped this deity. It was a city in Egypt. Watch real fast. Should have wrote it down. Populace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. When you go into it, so it is an Egyptian god. Oh, Thebes. Thebes was a capital city of Egypt. It was right underneath. You had Cairo. Right underneath, you had Thebes, and it was kind of close to the Red Sea. Not too close. It's a little bit inland. You had the Red Sea that went right here. Cairo, Thebes. So he's saying, are you better than Thebes?
Are you better than the best that Egypt got? Egypt was a powerhouse in its day. I mean, couldn't nobody really touch Egypt like that until the Most High touched them.
Egypt was known as one of the greatest civilizations. It was greater than the Assyrians. Now, he was saying, are you even equal to the Egyptians? No. Watch, read on.
Art thou better than populace?
Right?
No.
Nope.
That was situated among the rivers.
Right, because the populace or Thebes was situated amongst the rivers. Watch. Go ahead.
that had the waters.
When you get a chance, sis, Google Thebes, and it should give you a map so they can see it online. Go ahead.
That had the
Thebes, Egypt. Put Thebes, Egypt, and you'll get a map, and they'll be able to see. There's a reason why the Most High was pointing this out and comparing Egypt to the Assyrians. It was this pride. The Assyrians were prideful as hell. But so was Egypt. They were lifted up. So just like what? Just like America, right?
Huh?
Watch, go ahead, read on.
That had the waters round about it.
Right, they have waters round about it. Go ahead.
Whose rampart was the sea.
Right, so it had the Red Sea right next to it. Read.
And her wall was from the sea.
Go ahead.
Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength.
You see that? So it was the state of Egypt, Ethiopia right under it was the strength of this city. Read.
And it was infinite.
And it was an infinite strength. Listen, the Most High was saying that Egypt, that the capital city of Egypt was infinitely strong. Stronger than Assyria. So he was warning Assyria. He was warning Nineveh. That listen, Egypt was infinitely strong. Y'all don't even come close.
How you prideful?
How you prideful? What was that?
So he was like telling them compare yourselves to them and
He
see
was-
how less you are.
Right, he was saying, are you like the best? Nah, you're not. Chill out. Go ahead.
Almost like in the sense of you don't have a reason to be prideful.
You don't even have their strength, their resources. And I wiped them off the map. Almost I wiped Egypt off the map a few times. Right? He had Moses do it when he with all the 10 plagues, the Red Sea. Then he had Nebuchadnezzar come through from the Babylonian Empire and wipe out Egypt, made it desolate. So he was reminding the Assyrians, he was reminding the people of Nineveh that listen, y'all ain't as strong as Egypt, man. You're walking too big for your britches.
God.
Go ahead.
Foot and Labim.
Put, right? Put and Labim, Libya, which is right next to Egypt. So you got Egypt and you got Libya if you go west. Put is the it's another country. It's a Hamite country. Oh, it's right under. It's Egypt, Ethiopia. It's underneath Ethiopia.
Liberia?
Like the Liberians. No.
Kenya?
We'll get put. But it was another African nation. I looked at the map and I forget the names already. It's terrible. So much to remember. But he was just showing that this country, this capital city of Egypt, had all these defense cities and these allies and these resources, and he wiped it out. Nineveh didn't have none of that.
No.
So how are they going to stand against the Most High? This is what he was reminding them. Go ahead.
Put and Labim were thy helpers.
Right?
Yet was she carried away.
Speaking of Egypt, go ahead.
She went into captivity.
Go ahead.
Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets.
Go ahead.
And they cast lots for her honorable men.
Read on.
And all her great men were bound in chains. Thou also shalt be drunken.
He said what?
Thou also shalt be drunken.
He was like, Nineveh, you're going to be drunken with their pride. You're going to be drunk. Your men are going to be made weak. Go ahead.
Thou shalt be hid. Thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first striped figs.
Con. So he's saying, just like when those ripe figs on the tree, if they just get rattled a little bit, they just gonna start falling. Everybody's gonna start dropping. He's saying y'all are weak.
Con.
Y'all ain't nothing. A cool, gentle breeze is gonna knock you down. Just that's why he used the parable of the fig tree. Yeah, because the fig tree, or even like when fruit are ripe, if you shake that tree a little bit, they gonna fall.
That's how a lot of people. That's how a lot of people get fruit off trees. They shake it.
Come.
You don't climb it. You just shake it. The things start falling in the baskets. Man, it's beautifully put. Go ahead.
Read on.
If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater.
Oh, the Most High is the eater. He gonna eat them. He's the one that's talking about he gonna eat them up.
Through using Babylon and the Medes.
Come.
He was going to let them just devour this kingdom.
So this is the prophecy that Nahum.
This is the prophecy, right? So when you read Nahum 3:1, he was saying destruction, and then 9 down, he's showing you how, right? He's just giving you the allegory and the parables on how.
Come.
It's crazy because, like, if you ever, like, all the diss songs that you listen to over the last 30 years and stuff like that.
They don't equal this.
Nah, he was like, man, I'm gonna drop you like the fruits of the figs. I'm gonna get you like that.
Drop you like ripe fruit. Yeah.
Man.
He said your stronghold shall be like fig trees on ripe trees.
Come.
So there ain't no stronghold, that's a weak hold.
That's a pinky lock.
Right?
That's a pinky lock.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 13. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. Draw thee waters for the siege.
Yeah, he said, listen, you better prepare for that siege. You better draw some water because when they compass, remember the siege when they would compass a city round about and cut off resources, no food in or out, no water in and out. Mushaba was bringing it out. You starve a man for 3 days. He said by the 3rd day they was eating babies, eating each other. Cannibalism in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Most High was like, yeah, prepare for that siege. Draw water. What else?
Fortify thy stronghold.
Right?
Go into clay and tread the mortar. Make strong the brickling. There shall the fire devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the cankerworm.
Like the cankerworm.
Make thyself many as the cankerworm.
Go ahead.
Make thyself many as the locust.
Right. It's the cankerworm, the young locust. You set a bunch of cankerworms out into a field, it's just going to eat that field. Just like you send a bunch of locusts out, they're just going to devour that field, those crops. The Most High would say that this is how Nineveh was going to be ate up, man. Because of the things they were doing to Israel. Because of this harsh captivity. Just the nature of their people. To not bury your dead, I mean, come on now. Come on now. Even at war, you go to war with a nation, they'll dig a mass gravesite and dump all the dead people they're fighting against. They'll even dump them in a grave and they'll burn them. But they'll at least have the courtesy to put the bodies all in one place, burn it so there's no contamination. The Assyrians were barbaric. They were smart barbarians. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
Verse 16. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and fleeth away. Thy crown are as the locust.
Right, that's it on that. So where are we gonna go now? So y'all get that, right?
So, just recapping how bloody, how gory, and how filthy and nasty they were in Nineveh. Dead bodies all over the place. King unjust in the way they treated Israelites and even their own nation. It's all another picture of what's happening today, what happens in America, and what's going to continue happening until the Most High comes, until Yahushua comes. Just to cap off that bar, that section, give me Nahum 3:19.
Nahum chapter 3 verse 19.
Read.
There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous.
The things that Nahum did, the things that went on in Nahum.
Nineveh?
My bad. Nineveh. The things that went on in Nineveh, there was no coming back from it. That's why it says there's no healing of your wound. You can't treat this. You gotta die. Things gotta go down here.
Con.
Read on.
All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee.
Read.
For upon whom had not thy wickedness passed continually?
Man, it's like your wickedness has touched a lot of folks. Your wickedness has hurt a lot of homes and households. Mainly of Israelites, but even of their own people too.
Con.
Yeah, but who does that sound like? I mean, at the end of the day, we know. Watch. It sounds like. Go to Jeremiah 51:6. Sounds like America, man.
Con.
This sounds like the mirror image of what America perpetuates. Remember, the white man ain't invented nothing.
Nope.
All he did was just look at history and copy.
Copy and paste.
So if it sounds like, wait a minute, this sounds like America sounds like the carbon copy of Assyria or of Nineveh or of the Babylonian Empire or the Egyptian Empire or the Roman Empire or the Greek Empire or the Persian Empire. It is. Because they don't invent anything. They don't even invent how to enslave you the right way. They didn't invent that. They just copied the other nations doing it wrong. Jeremiah 51 and verse 6.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Right.
And deliver every man his soul.
Right. This is what we got to learn. Right. This is what we got to learn looking at these different captivities. It said do what?
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
What does that mean to flee out of the midst of Babylon? You going to be able to run from America? And this scripture is perfect because it shows you can't run from America. You can't run from America's influence. But you as an individual can. But it's showing you that America's influence is all through the earth. So if you think that it's about running from the land of Babylon, you're mistaken. It's about running from the influence of Babylon. Let me restate that. Right? So it said, flee out of the midst of Babylon. Read.
And deliver every man his soul.
Go ahead.
Be not cut off in her iniquity.
In her what?
In her iniquity.
Yeah, it was about fleeing from the iniquities, man. Go ahead.
For this is the time of the Most High's vengeance.
Ooh, and what's going to happen, man? He said he's going to eat you up like the canker. He's going to shake your strongholds like fig trees with ripe fruit. Come on.
He will render unto her a recompense.
Right.
Babylon has been a golden cup in the Most High's hands.
Right.
They made all the earth drunken.
Didn't he say that your men would be drunken? Now, it said in verse 19 that who has not felt the cruelty of Nineveh? Just like America, who hasn't felt the wrath, who has not sipped the Jesus juice of America? Right? Who hasn't? What nation? Because from what I understand, everywhere you go, there are some fags in every country. I don't care how rough and tough. That rough and tough man, you got the rough and tough down low dudes. And some of these African tribes and countries, they over there being faggots too, man. Cause they watching TV, they got their little Snapchat going, right? You run around hunting buffalo with a Snapchat, right? Yeah. They're all influenced in some way. If it's not sexually, it's morally, it's dietarily. America tells you just touch what you want, taste what you want, eat what you want. It's gonna be all good. It's gonna be okay. Everything is okay for consumption. And that's not just food. That's media. That's what you give to your spirit. Oh, you can just be a spiritual warrior. You can dibble and dabble into Catholicism, a little bit of Buddhism, a little bit of Judaism, a little bit of this ism and that ism and this jism and that schism. And it's like, yeah, let's just put it all in one guy, all in one person.
Right.
But then that's where you get your mental disorders and your mental disease and your schizos and your murderers and your killers. Right? But you have that throughout the world now because of Babylon, because of places like Nineveh. Read on.
That made all the earth drunken.
Right.
The nations have drunken of her wine.
Right.
Therefore the nations are mad.
Go ahead.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
Just like Nineveh was suddenly fallen and destroyed. Go ahead.
Howl for her.
Do what?
Howl for her.
Read.
Take balm for her pain.
Right.
If so be she may be healed.
If so be she may be healed. Well, who's trying to heal this place? I'm not. Just like Nineveh, he said you can't bind up them wounds. Ain't no balm for that. Ain't no moldifying plaster for that. For the witchcraft, the witchery, right? What did it say earlier? It said the witchcraft, right? The whoredoms of witchcraft, all the beatings and killings and dead bodies. Bro, you can't come back from that. You think America could come back from the slavery, the death, the destruction that they've done to us, to Israel? Oh no, ain't no coming back. Ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no, oh, Salakia, Yahweh, I'm sorry. You think they're gonna be able to say I'm sorry? That's just gonna be it. Oh, it's just, oh, Christ is here. Let us all just hold hands. It'll be okay. Read on.
Take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
Right, go ahead.
Forsake her.
Do what?
Forsake her.
Do what?
Forsake her.
Yeah, man, forget Babylon. Just like how we should have forgot Nineveh. Like how we should have forgot ancient Babylon. How we should have forgot Egypt. Niggas was like, man, Moses, you brought us out here to die. We were sitting by flesh pots and eating onions and leeks. We should have forgot Egypt. Go ahead.
Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country.
Right.
For her judgment reacheth unto heaven.
Wait, because what?
Her judgment reaches unto heaven.
Go ahead.
And is lifted up even to the skies.
Right, and we read Revelations 18:4, the same thing. It says her cry has gone up. Right? So from there, go to where we want to go now? 2 more. Go to Ezekiel.
Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 20.
Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 20.
And this is going into how bad it is for them. You don't want to link yourself up with this. You don't want to be labeled an Assyrian. You don't want to be labeled someone of Nineveh. You don't want to be labeled an American. You don't, look, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it all the way real. You don't want to be labeled black. You don't want to be labeled African American. You don't want to be labeled African. You don't want to be labeled Mexican. You don't want to be labeled Salvadorian. You don't want to be labeled of any of these labels that they put on us.
And when he says label, he's meaning you don't want to have the mind state that I'm Chicana, right? That I'm Mexican. You know, my babies, they're half Mexican, half Israelite. That don't work. You don't. Oh, they're half. They're Levites, but they're also Haitian.
Right.
Because then you're gonna carry the Haitian mentality. What about the Levite mentality? They're 2 different mentalities. Like the Negro mentality and the Judites mentality, supposed to be different. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. The Jamaicans mentality and the Benjamites mentality supposed to be different.
God.
It's like when you get your Hebrew name.
Put off the old man.
You put off that old person that you were when you were in the world, being called the slave name.
That's right.
To the new man. Right.
Absolutely right. So when he says what did you say being labeled as, is really, are you trying to carry on the lineage of a Chicana, right? Of a El Salvadorian or a Mexican or this or that, or are you trying to carry on or bring back the lineage of an Israelite? Right? Go ahead, read on.
Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 20. They shall fall in the midst of them that are slain by the sword.
Go ahead.
She is delivered to the sword. Draw her and all her multitudes.
3.
The strong among the mighty shall speak to him out of the midst of hell with them that help him.
Go ahead.
They are gone down. They lie uncircumcised, slain by the sword.
Yeah, don't be a part of this. Don't link yourself up with these people that are going down in this fashion. Because the Most High is coming for them. There's sins. The sins of this country, the sins of these people around the world, the Most High is touching everybody. If you don't think it's happening, pay attention to the news. Look at the world news. Shoot, look at the coronavirus. It's spreading. The wars, the rumors of war, it's spreading around the world. The Most High is just kind of pre-gaming everybody because it's about to go down. Don't link yourself up with these people. Don't keep these labels. Come back and be an Israelite. Be a Judite. Be an Issacharite. Be a Benjamite. You know, be of your nation. Be an Israelite. Don't be what they're trying to put on us. And in turn being what they label us, and joining yourselves with them. I'm an American. You know, I talk to people in the mall. I'll talk to a Latino, and I'll be like, where you from, man? And it's like, I'm from here. I was, well, what nationality are you? I'm an American. It's like, bruh, I'm trying to, where your people from? We from America.
Are you serious?
Bruh, come on, bring it out. Tell me what you are. Like, I'm trying to find out your nationality so we can talk, so we can have some more dialect. But they want to be an American. And again, it don't matter where you're from, because guess what? Mexico was conquered. El Salvador was conquered. All these different nations where our people are at have been conquered by other people. That's why we speak these different tongues. That's why we're not speaking Hebrew. But read on where you at, bro.
Verse 22.
Go ahead.
Asher is there and all her company.
Who? Asher. Who founded Nineveh? Tying it all back to the beginning. Who founded Nineveh? Asher. Asher was the one who founded Nineveh. Most High is saying, look, Asher's there too. The ones that did all that bloodshed in Nineveh, he right there too. They're all getting theirs. Read on.
His graves are about him.
Read.
All of them slain, fallen by the sword.
Go ahead.
Whose graves are set in the sides of the pit, and her company is round about her grave. All of them slain, fallen by the sword, which caused terror in the land of the living.
That's it on that. From there, jump to Hosea chapter 14 and verse 1. And again, this is a message to our people. We can't link ourselves with these nations. We can't link ourselves, and that's not saying, we can't deal with them in a cordial way, because we are the light of the world.
God.
But we're not going to take part in their punishment, because Most High has called us to be separate. The Most High has called us to be above and not below. When Quadazat was talking about us going into, not wanting to go into these different areas to take the land, but then we end up going anyways as captives. Look, the Most High said, I want you to be on top. I have chosen you to be on top above all nations. But okay, if you don't want to be the position that I've chose you to be in, that I have set aside for you, well, someone else is going to be in your position, and you're going to be where they're supposed to be. What you got for me, brother?
Hosea chapter 14, verse 1.
Go ahead.
O Israel, return unto the Lord thy power.
Do what?
Return unto the Lord thy power.
Return to the Most High. Come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Come back to your true nationality as an Israelite, as a Hebrew Israelite. Come back speaking your language. Come back and start learning your language. Come back and start knowing the richness of your culture, of your people. Come back and start knowing about your true power, the Most High, the creator of everything that was ever created. Read.
For thou hast fallen by thine iniquity.
Go ahead.
Take with you words and turn to the Lord.
Read.
Say unto him, take away all iniquity.
Go ahead.
And receive us graciously.
Come humbly back to the Most High. Put aside the labels. Put aside the what do you call it? Being joined to these people in the mind and in their actions. Read on.
So will we render the calves of our lips.
Go ahead.
Ashur shall not save us.
Who?
Ashur shall not save us.
So the weakness of the so-called greatness and strongness of Nineveh ain't gonna save you. The weakness or the strongness of America is not gonna save us. If you're like Houston is the spot, Houston the fourth or third largest city now in the world. Oh, we cool here because we're in Houston. Nah, think again. You worse off. Oh man, we're in California. Shit, we're in LA. Nah. Oh, we're in New York. You know, shoot.
That's what New Yorkers be thinking. I'm gonna go to LA to Pop Smoke. Look at Biggie. I'm gonna run over here. It don't work like that.
Sure don't. Read on.
Assure shall not save us. We
Go
will
ahead.
not ride upon horses. Neither will we say any more to the work of our hands, ye are gods.
So we gotta put off all these things. We're not praising our work. We're not giving the reverence of the things that we have to the actual things. But we know that we're giving reverence to the Most High because all things come from the Most High.
John.
Read on.
For indeed the fatherless findeth grace, findeth mercy.
Read.
I will heal their backsliding. I will love them freely, for my anger is turned away from him.
And that's it on that. That's when we turn to the Most High, His anger turns from us. His love is abounding for us. Most High loves us. He don't want us to be a part or fall to the same way that these heathens fall. But the prophecy got to be fulfilled. It says 2/3 of Israel is going to be cut off. So 2/3 of Israel is not going to want to hear these laws, statutes, and commandments. 2/3 of Israel is not going to want to come back and be an Israelite. They're going to want to stay joined with these nations. They're going to want to still do these heathenistic customs. But we got to turn. We got to turn back and be an example for our nation, for our people, for the healing of our people. If they don't see us doing it, the ones that want to be woken won't get woken. It's up to us to be an example for them. It's like in Deuteronomy 28:1, it says, these people, it says to observe and to do. They have to see it. Our brothers and sisters have to see us doing these things so that they know how to do them properly. Does that make sense? So if we're not doing these things properly, if we're not following the law, statutes, commandments, and being that beacon of light to the world and to our people, they won't know how to do it right. And that even goes into a conversation I had earlier with a brother. We got to be a teacher on all levels, not just teachers on the scriptures, but teachers on life, on how to live. But we gain the wisdom through the scriptures. All right? And was there any questions on what we went over on Nineveh or anything? What you got, bro?
On the topic?
On the topic.
Okay. So, Yahweh Shai mentions Nineveh in Matthew, right? Or Jonah, rather. And why is it that, like, religions or even us, we kind of went past Nineveh without really expanding on it till now? Like, what was it about? Like, these two, like Jonah and Nahum, they were short books, but they packed a punch right in there right away. Like, what was it about these that we kind of just like, they put too much thought into it?
Oh, like as far as us reading these books or putting emphasis on these?
Just everything in general about it. Because it's live, like, how it connects to America today, how all the way back from the 700 BC to now, like, it just kept repeating itself, but...
Well, on that, it's just about actually taking time, and when you're reading, digesting what you're reading. A lot of times people will read something to just say, I read it, and they'll just go through it quickly and read over a lot of key points and crucial details, just like what we're bringing out in these books and about Nineveh. So that's it on that. I mean,
what was the question though? What was the question?
Well, so also too, like how Tobit is connected with, like, I read Tobit plenty of times, but like how it's connected all the way to like the Nineveh times and the Assyrian times, and why did we just pass it? Why was that? Like, no one ever expounds on it ever.
That's why we're getting these classes together.
But hold on, think about it. I mean, the church, they don't expound on anything. They gloss over everything. So, do you think they're going to take the time to read a book that has 3 chapters? Remember, the church is about they amplify one part and they disannul another. They don't deal with the Old Testament.
They don't even bring it
So it's
up.
part of the Old Testament. Right? So Nahum, Jonah, they don't deal with those books because they don't know how to go through and even realize that that has something to do with that and that has something to do with that. And this time period are different, but what was going on, they remember the Bible's not chronological. It's not put together in chronological order, so you have to take the time to study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. A workman needed not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. They don't divide the word of truth. They just read it as a novel, put it up on the shelf, come back Sundays. They quote to you Galatians, they quote to you Romans, they quote to you what Christ said, but they don't follow it. Yeah, it's...
And then in Matthew chapter 12, verse 41, Yahushua is saying, the men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas, and behold, a greater than Jonas is here.
Right, because when Jonah, and we didn't hit that part, when Jonah went, in Jonah's time, when Jonah went to deal with them, they repented. When you read in Jonah chapter, 2? Oh, damn, I was just there.
Yeah.
It tells you in Jonah.
It is 3 and 5.
Yeah, Jonah 3 and 5. It said that they repented. Read it real quick.
Jonah chapter 3 verse 5. So the people of Nineveh believed the Most High.
Right, because Jonah went and preached to them.
And proclaimed a fast, and put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them.
Right. But then, after a while, that wickedness started to pop back up. So there were men of the nation that repented, or in that city that Jonah was sent to. So they believed on the Most High. No different when Paul went to Rome and Tarshish and Philippi and all these Corinth. There were men that repented from doing the works of the heathen.
So even in the time of Yahushua, and how we just read Hosea chapter 14 verse 1, it says, "O Israel, return unto the Most High thy power." So basically that's all explaining all the way back to what it is. Like we just snap out of it.
Right. God. Anything else?
Love.
No, you have any
That's a
questions?
question my sons had, and I didn't think it was important to answer. What if people knew it's perfect answer to why?
Yeah, see? These classes are needed because, check this out. Excellent class, Akim. It answered a question my sons had that I didn't think was important. They asked me a while ago, who were the people of Nineveh? This was a perfect answer. So, we try to hit these classes that, listen, everybody preaches about the white man. Everybody preaches about multiple ribs. Everybody out there trying to debate. It's fine. But, there's still so much Bible to be taught. And we're just trying to teach on the things that are not being brought out. That's it. We ain't coming with nothing new. We ain't trying to reinvent the Bible.
No.
Reinvent class. We're just trying to come with different topics that, again, there's a million Israelites out there with YouTube channels. We're just trying to keep it fresh and clean for y'all. All right, so
History.
yeah, history classes are good. I know they be boring. They start out slow as hell. It's like, oh my God, history, dates and names, but you need it. You got to know your history. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
But there's always also different perspectives too.
Yeah,
Of
in the
the
history.
of the classes.
Yeah.
When they're brought out, because a lot of times we just go through the basic of Nineveh and why Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh.
Right.
And it goes into the whole well and the big
Right.
fish and all that. But this was actually very interesting, more in depth.
Yeah.
This was my very first Nineveh class.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we good.
All right, man. If that's it, let's end it. We thank everybody once again for joining us. Today is Monday,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. Today's Monday. They'll have class tomorrow in Virginia. We'll be back here Wednesday. Okay. Remember, get your Passover garment money in. RSVP for the Passover. Fill out the form for your but just try to do what you can.
Con.
All right. If that's it, let's salute everybody online and let's say shalom.
Shalom.
We will see you guys back here on Wednesday.
Keep the Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I